In today's session, we are seeing the USDJPY consolidating while holding above the 109. And if we consider its medium-term trend, I think this is the support area in which we can look for some trading opportunities. So this session of Market Movers is going to be dedicated to looking for the optimum price levels to get involved for the new trades in the USDJPY. Along with that, we will also be taking a look on the equity segment of the market and Dow Jones Industrial Average in particular. If we consider the data docket for the day, there were not many data releases for most of the countries of the world, apart from some early releases in Asian trading session for China. Here we got the multiple data points for the month of April for China's economy, and as you can see, we have observed that China's growth, though remains strong, is now decelerating from its earlier red hot pace. So some moderation is not that surprising, but still for Chinese policymakers, it will open up some further some issues which will need to be addressed by appropriate policy measures. We have the retail sales at 17.7% compared to the prior month's rise of 34.2%. So you can say that the growth numbers are still quite strong, and these are year-on-year numbers. So you can conclude that in terms of month-on-month, the growth is not that robust, and it has actually gone on the lower side. Unemployment rate has also remain closer to the prior month's level. Now it stands at 5.1%, which is slightly lower compared to the prior month's reading. And industrial production has also decelerated. Now it stands at 9.8% compared to the prior month's growth of 14%. These are quite good numbers, but the only takeaway is that the pace of economic expansion is moderating in China. For US, we had the NAHB Housing Market Index, which has remained constant at 83. And apart from that, we also got the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. And here also, the moderation is there in the growth figure. Now, for this month, the month of May, the index stands at 24.3 compared to the prior month's reading of 26.3. So similar story is also playing out in US. Now let's shift our attention to the technical aspect. First, we will see if there are any trading opportunities emerging in the USD and after that, we will also consider the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's start with the USD technical outlook. This is the daily time frame chart, and after getting closer to the prior swing high, the USD has gone in the correction mode, and in last two sessions, it has hovered closer to this prior swing high with bias remaining on the lower side. After the start of today's session, we saw that selling accelerated, and after making a high closer to 109.5, we now have the USD holding just little above 109.10. And I think for today's session, we are not really likely to see any big move in either direction. And most probably, it is likely to spend the day in a narrow range where the support is there on the lower side at 109. So if we see this consolidation prolonging, and if we see that the USD is able to hold above this level, then I think there are trading opportunities on the long side, as I am expecting the underlying momentum which has been bullish for the last couple of weeks to again creep back in and start to push the USD higher. So in this session, we will be looking for some key levels on the lower time frame chart which can help us optimize the entry and exit. In near term, we have the support of this central pivot point for this month's pivot point series, which is there around 19.20, and this has been the price zone where the USD JPY has been consolidating for last two sessions, and it has been able to hold closer to this price area. And if we consider this regression curve formation, it has now inclined on the higher side, as we had the USDJPY forming these higher lows. Though we can't really say if we had this higher high. It was slightly higher, but not much difference compared to the prior swing high. So you can more or less say it was identical. But on the lower side, we do have this formation of higher low, and if we are to see the continuation of this underlying momentum, I think it will be important for the USD to hold above 109 in today's session. And after that, we can start looking for the trading opportunity with the USD And for that, we will be relying on the lower time frame chart of the hourly to help us minimize the stop losses. And I think to that extent we can use these SMA formation, the 50, 100 and 200 SMA formation, where we are seeing these price action is finding support closer to the 200 SMA on the lower side. And we also had this prior swing high around the 109. And now that we have the fresh breakout on the higher side, uh, it is more likely that the USDJPY will not really dip on the lower side. Of course, we can't be certain, and that's the reason why we will be going with the stop loss. So look for the buying opportunities anywhere above 109. So the price band of 109 to 109.10 is a good opportunity to initiate the new trade while keeping the stop loss anywhere closer to 108.90 to 108.85. And then on the higher side, we can expect the USDJPY to start to get closer to this prior swing high, which was established in the last week. And that is likely to give us the risk reward ratio of better than 1 is to 2, as we will have to take the risk of around 20-25 pips at the max. And we can expect to make about 50 pips if we happen to be right in our anticipation of the price move in the USDJPY. Now let's see what's happening in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This is the daily time frame chart, and as I had talked about the possibility of Dow Jones holding closer to this 34,000 price area, we have seen muted price action in today's session, and it is happening in line with the anticipation. And I think this is an important price area for the the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and how it breaks out from this narrow range is going to determine its trajectory for the larger part of this week. So we will consider the lower time frame chart on the 4 hourly time frame, where we have this first resistance of this month's pivot point series in place around 34,400. And that's where the Dow Jones has struggled, and it has hovered just below this price zone for last two sessions. Even in today's session, we saw that after getting closer to 34,400, the selling pressure pushed it on the lower side, and now it is just holding about 34,200. And if you consider the regression curve, it has also flattened, and given the formation of this lower swing low, I think it will be difficult for the Dow Jones to straight away again try to rise toward the prior swing high, the all-time high established closer to 34,000. So for this session, I would say that it will be prudent for us to take the cautious approach, and some scalping kind of trades can be taken where we can look for shorting opportunity anywhere closer to these first resistance of this month's pivot point series. And on the lower side, I'm not really expecting big move, but a move towards 34,000 can't be ruled out. So if we want to optimize the entry and exit, this formation of the price action where this 200 SMA has been acting as the near-term resistance for the Dow can be utilized as the price area of interest. So if we see that the Dow continues to consolidate in this range while not really breaking above the immediate swing high, then I think we can look to initiate the short sell trade anywhere below 34,400, and on the lower side the immediate swing low can be expected to be retested. So here the stop loss is going to be fairly sharp. I think the stop loss anywhere around 34,400, sorry, 34,500 should be good enough if our entry point is anywhere between 34,400 to 34,350. And on the lower side the price move, as I said, can be expected towards 34,000. So that is going to get us the risk reward ratio of roughly 1 is to 2. And with that, the session is also coming to an end. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write to me in the feedback section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind of the risk associated with trading in the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. Have a fabulous day ahead. Do subscribe to the Ducascopy webinar channel to stay updated on the market developments. See you next time. Till then, goodbye.